Tonight on What the Heck Do I Know's PM Update, Work Prime, and Lifestyle Quest segments. What can project management processes and skills do for you? Even if you aren't a project manager, project management skills can help you at work and in your life in general. But how do they apply? Well, has there ever been anything in your life that you wanted to do, but either didn't know how, or maybe you were just having trouble getting started? Tonight, we will be going over the specifics of how project management processes can help you be successful and get to the level you want. Hey guys, I really enjoy making these videos for you, so if you get value from them or know someone who would, please support us by hitting like, subscribe, leaving comments, and sharing. What the Heck Do I Know presents PM Update with Leah and Mia. And now your host, Leah. Welcome back to PM Update. I'm Leah. On our show tonight, we have two segments. Work Prime, which is our putting project management into practice at work. And tonight, we will be talking specifically about project management processes and skills. And in Lifestyle Quest, where we show you how these same processes and skills can help you in other areas of your life, no matter how big or small. Mia has the story of how Jerry Jackson made this discovery and made some definite improvements in his life. Mia, can you give us a little background on Jerry? Well, Leah, Jerry is not a project manager, but an administrative assistant at Barco Management Company. As part of his annual review, his boss let him know that the company had several Skillsoft courses available on the company network, and that it would be a good idea for him to complete some of them as part of his personal and professional development. After completing the first 3 short courses, he realized there was a whole philosophy behind this project management stuff, and started doing all of the classes he could find. So he's a newcomer to the project management philosophies then. Do you know who said, "Those who plan do better than those who do not plan, even though they rarely stick to their plan"? The answer to this question and Mia's stories when we return, so stay tuned. Nine months ago, Jerry was a simple, mild-mannered administrative assistant working in a corporate office. That is, until the fateful day he took his first set of project management classes. And that changed not only his work life, but his personal life too. Jerry started with the Project Initiation and Planning course. It had initiation in the name, so it seemed a good place to begin. At first, he was just going through the lessons to tick the box recommended by his boss, and treating it like he would any course that was required training, like those security courses they had to do every year to remind them not to click on phishing emails. By the time he got to the end, though, he thought there might actually be some valuable information in here. When he got to his third selection of classes, Plan and Define Project Scope, he was certain that he could use these skills to make improvements in his work performance. In Initiation and Planning, he learned how to look at his tasks as part of the overall whole effort and to ask questions about the parts other people were doing to align his part with theirs. He started interacting more with people from other sections of the company and seeing himself as part of the team rather than just a support person for his direct boss, which improved his communication skills and knowledge of company functions. As an admin, Jerry wasn't often invited to project-related meetings, but he requested to attend certain ones to take minutes, and so that he could be a part of the planning and scope-defining process. He thought that at least he would hear the discussion so that he would know how to structure what he was doing. Jerry realized that what he was learning in the project management classes and hearing in the meetings was providing a framework for how to do his job better. It was also giving him a clearer picture than he had before. Between the information he gained by attending meetings and doing the Plan and Define Project Scope course, he was able to identify when other departments asked for his support for things that were outside of the project scope. Jerry started looking at all of his tasks as part of a larger whole. When he was assigned new things to do, instead of just jumping right in, he took some time to think about it and how it should be done in accordance with the project he was supporting at the time. As a result, his work product was more aligned with the end goal, and he spent less time on rework or changes. From the monitoring and control modules, Jerry learned how to check on progress and why it was important. Jerry's boss was impressed with the insightful questions he asked when he wasn't sure which project a certain task was going to be used for, and complimented him on how thorough he was. When Jerry's boss asked him to run a few reports for him, Jerry asked about including another data point that might be relevant, and his boss agreed. Jerry was feeling pretty great about the response he was getting from his boss and coworkers, so he signed up for all of the project management courses he could find. It took him a while to get through them all, but with each one, he gained a new understanding to other parts of the business in general and his boss's projects in particular. By the time he finished the last one, he felt more than ready to take on more responsibility officially, so he requested a meeting with his boss. Jerry presented to his boss the skills he learned in the courses and the additional value that he was bringing as his assistant, to the projects, and the company. He ended the meeting by requesting an official part-time position in addition to his normal duties on a project that would be closing soon to get some hands-on experience. And if that proved successful, to be considered for a junior project management position as soon as one opened up. Jerry's boss agreed to assign him to a project that was almost completed and said he would allow him to spend 25% of his time assisting on that project. He pointed out that now that Jerry was so much more efficient at his regular job, that he would still be getting the same amount of work out of him at 75%, and agreed that if he did well on the project close, they would definitely consider him for a junior position in the future. Over the first 6 months, Jerry was able to increase his skills, which made him a more valuable employee because of his increased knowledge and his improved work performance. He actively sought new challenges and was given more responsibility when he demonstrated over time that he was interested in and capable of doing the work. He also clearly presented his case to his boss about how much he had learned and contributed when asking for more responsibility than he got at first. Then he presented a logical way for his boss to see his skills in action on a real project, so that there would be no doubt of his capability when a higher level position was available. That's a great story, Mia. We are all hoping that Jerry gets his promotion after doing a good job on the project closing he requested. Taking the time to learn, increase your capabilities, and a willingness to apply those capabilities to your current work environment is a fantastic way to get moved up in the company hierarchy. And now, the answer to the quote question from the start of the show. Do you know who said, "Those who plan do better than those who do not plan, even though they rarely stick to their plan"? That was Winston Churchill. Now, Jerry didn't have a plan himself when he started the project management classes, and so far it has turned out pretty well for him. But what if he had a plan when he started? He might have done even better. And for our final quote question for tonight, do you know who said, "Operations keep the lights on, strategy provides a light at the end of the tunnel, but project management is the train engine that moves the organization forward"? We will answer this question and give the rest of Jerry's story when we come back, so stay tuned. Jerry was having a great day after meeting with his boss. He started thinking about how easy it was to make improvements once he learned the principles and processes in the classes and put them into practice. Then he started wondering if he could apply them to his personal life as well as work. His two biggest challenges were getting into better shape and saving money. And then there was that great camera he got for his birthday last year that was still in the box because he kept meaning to learn more about photography before using it. Jerry decided to start the initiation and planning phases for all three of these things to see how it would work out. Even though he already sort of knew what he needed to do to be successful at these things, he had never put together a plan or started to do any of it. First, he did the research on getting fit. He knew he needed to eat healthier and exercise, but did the research to find a diet plan that would fit into his lifestyle and an exercise schedule that he was capable of doing consistently. He decided the plan is to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. To execute this project, he bought the healthy food that would be a part of his plan on his next shopping trip. Then he prepared meals for the next 4 days that he could put in his freezer so that he had healthy choices ready to go. He also signed up at a local gym and started on the regular exercise schedule. For initiation and planning to save money, Jerry evaluated his bills and made some reductions in his phone and TV packages that he wasn't using, and put himself on a monthly budget for food and entertainment activities. He found that since he was buying a lot less processed food as part of his healthy eating plan, it was easier to stick to the food budget than he thought it would be. And he didn't have to say no to going out with his friends when they asked him to meet for drinks. He just switched to water when he used his budget for the night. This also helped with his fitness plan by reducing the number of empty calories he consumed. His plan was to save at least 10% of his income every month and to use it for investing once he had a nest egg built up. To plan and execute his photography hobby, he found a couple of free beginner classes online and found a lot of information about his particular camera on YouTube, so he understood all of the buttons and how his camera worked. To practice, he started taking his camera with him whenever he left the house so that he was prepared to take pictures whenever he was inspired. Since this was a hobby, he didn't really have a goal he needed to meet, but decided to strive for 1,000 followers on Instagram in 6 months. For monitoring and control of his fitness goal, Jerry got a fat monitor scale and weighed himself once a week to make sure he was still making progress. To monitor and control his savings, he had started putting the 10% in a separate savings account as soon as he was paid, but also checked his bank balances weekly to make sure he was staying within his budgeted amounts. Any additional leftover at the end of the month also went into the special savings account. To monitor and control, he checked his Instagram followers weekly and made sure that he posted his best photos every week. Jerry was able to meet his fitness goal fairly easily within the time he gave himself by being consistent with his efforts and monitoring his progress so that he didn't get off track. His savings goal is long-term and isn't really ever going to end, but because he planned out how he was going to do it, the process hasn't been very difficult in the first 2 months. Winter is coming, though, and he knows it's going to be tough saving 10% if he has to buy new snow tires this year. Jerry doesn't have very many followers on Instagram so far, but he is gaining a few every week when he checks. He also started posting a few selfies from the gym that seem to have generated a lot more interest in his account than the landscapes and sunsets he likes posting more often. Jerry says that there was a huge difference for him between wanting to do something and knowing how to do it, and using the project management approach to do it. Once you decide you're going to do it, using this method to plan it out so you can actually get it done makes it so much easier. He's extremely proud of how easily he was able to meet his fitness goal and almost kicking himself for not doing it before. He knows the savings goal will be a little more difficult, but he has built confidence in his performance at work and fitness and thinks he will be able to overcome any problems. And the Instagram account? Well, that wasn't really a goal. Maybe he'll do a bit more marketing to see if he can get those numbers up. Jerry is now a firm believer that project management skills and processes can help in just about every area of your life. If it is something you've never done before, or if you are having a hard time getting started, just follow the process and you will end up getting there eventually. If you're having trouble, then you just need to make some adjustments based on the new information you get while you're going through the process and monitor your progress. So the hero of our show tonight, Jerry, was able to take the logical process of project management and apply them to his personal life to reach goals he had been wanting to accomplish for months. Finally deciding he was going to do it for initiation, and then planning out what he needed to do was the push he needed to take the first steps, and then follow through with his executing and monitoring and control plan. If Jerry can do this, so can you. What things do you want to do that you haven't gotten around to starting? Or have you started them but not followed through because you didn't plan out what you needed to do to get it done? If you feel like you're stuck and want to start making progress, do a little research, start building your plan. Now, for the answer to our second quote question of the day, do you know who said, "Operations keeps the lights on, strategy provides a light at the end of the tunnel, but project management is the train engine that moves the organization forward"? That was Joy Gums. That's all for What the Heck Do I Know's PM Update with Leah and Mia and our Work Primed and Lifestyle Quest segments for this week. Thank you for watching and see you next time on our next episode of PM Update. Good night. Don't forget to support this channel by hitting like and subscribe. I love seeing comments too.